Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this teaching that I'm going to give today. And first, we're going to take a breath through the heart center in gratitude of this day and gratitude of these few moments that we're going to share together. Today, I want to talk about mindfulness instead of fearfulness. Many of my students and clients ask me, how can I manage this mind, or how can I manage this emotion? I got this fear coming up. How can I stay focused? How is it I can stay focused and not go into my fear and have my fear control me? Well, there are a couple of steps with this, and they look like this. One is building your perspective. Over time, as you grow and your cycles of life go on, you get into your 50s, your 60s, and your 70s, you have a very different perspective of life than you do when you're younger. Yeah, what I have now, I did not have when I was younger. And that perspective is that everything in life is temporary. And we move through everything. So whatever life lessons are coming to you at this time, they're absolutely meant for you for your own self-mastery. So you can gain that part of yourself and strengthen it. Have confidence in a new way. Gain a part of yourself to use for your life. So this lesson has come to you and you have fear coming up. Perspective. It's going to be done soon. One way or the other. You're going to walk through it. And so seeing the whole picture, just like the seasons, we're in winter right now, but we know that spring is coming. Yeah. When we're first going into winter, when it's November and December, we look like we're really going into it, but we still know spring is on the way. We know this. Now, as it gets to be January, February, end of February, we really know spring is on the way. Yeah. So it's perspective. To see the whole picture, this is gaining a whole part focus. And the part that you're going to work within the whole is that I'm just going to take a step that's going to lead me to the next step, that's going to lead me to the next step. And before you know it, I've moved through and I have resolved this, whatever it is. So gaining perspective and keeping that perspective is very helpful. Secondly, is to have a way to center and focus yourself. So a mindfulness practice keeps you centered and focused into your truth. It keeps you on track versus you dipping into your fear. And you might dip into the fear, but then you come back to focus. You dip into the fear, come back to focus. It's a practice. What is going to draw you back into your focus? Well, let's look at some of the life lessons that are going on right now. I have a lot of people that are coming to see me that have different challenges, like they might have a disease in their body. Yeah? How do you keep focus? How are you mindful? How do you heal yourself at the same time as keeping the fear at bay so the fearful thoughts do not take over? Fear comes from subconscious. Fear comes from survival. Plan on fear being present. Fear is going to come. It's predictable. But where would you like to focus? Let's focus on healing. If you have cancer, let's focus there. Yeah, whatever step you're getting ready to take with your new challenge, you are focusing your mind in a particular way. Focusing mind alone is not enough of a practice because we have to ignite something deeper and greater, which is your inner knowing, is your inner source. That is the source of all things. That is what keeps your strength, your focus. It's a source of life. It's a source of energy. and it keeps you on track. So the question is, how do you remain present? How do you remain centered in this inner source that you have? How do you find your way? How do you bring yourself back? What mantra would you like to use? You could use a mantra, you could use an affirmation, you could use a prayer. You could use something that's a power item. It could be a rock, a stone, a picture. It could be anything that is a reminder, it's a symbol that you keep perhaps in your pocket. Yeah, I have people who do this. They keep that little reminder in their pocket about who they are, who they really are. Mm-hmm. And having a centering practice every day is very helpful. How do you center yourself? How do you ground yourself? Yeah. Let's use another example, something that is a little bit lighter. Say it's snowing out, there's a snowstorm, and you've got to get in your car. You got to drive your car, and you've got to be extremely mindful and extremely focused, but extremely grounded, and stay out of the fear. Because what happens when the mind goes into fear, the fear feeds fear and negative emotion and creates, obviously, an outcome, right? Whatever you feed as an emotion and a thought is what's going to come into fruition at some point. So that's why we want to contain these thoughts. Okay? So you might be a little afraid. Fine, it's okay. Yeah, well, let's contain it and let's stay focused on driving the car, staying in your center, and having some type of mantra, which could be, I can, I'm strong. It could be a Sanskrit mantra, soham, I am. Could be something like that. Could be Om Namah Shivaya. It could be anything that quickly gets you into center to stay focused with your mind and activates this inner power. There's many techniques to activate inner power. We have, in the course of 35 years, many of my students have received these practices, and I use them every day of my life. You use a practice until you come into self-mastery. So just consider that every time you have a challenge, it's an opportunity for you to empower yourself, yeah? For you to come into your power. That's what that means. It means for you to own your power. It means for you to master that lesson. So practice. When fear comes your way, activate your inner source, activate your mindfulness, stay centered, use your breath, use a mantra. You might just click your fingers 3 times, get your attention of your inner self, have something in your pocket that reminds you of your true source that is within you. Mindfulness, activating mindfulness and managing fearfulness. Enjoy the practice. Enjoy what life brings to you every day. And remember to keep things in perspective. We move through everything. It is all temporary. We can all do it. We're all doing it every day. We're doing it. We're moving through our challenges, and we are gaining our power and our wisdom. Thank you for listening. May you come into great mindfulness, and may your fear be dissolved. Namaste.